A very good evening, my dear Toastmasters and guests. Good evening. This is your Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Sai Deepak, welcoming you all to another majestic evening. So, we have a wonderful meeting lined up for you. So, I hope you all enjoy the evening today. So, before we start the meeting, let us discuss together what we can do to make this meeting even more engaging for all of us. Please do not walk around or move around when someone is speaking, as it can divert the speaker's attention. Words once spoken may be forgotten, not forgiven. So please choose your words carefully so that you don't affect the audience sentiments. Ringing mobiles can jeopardize the harmony of the meeting, so I request you all to please put your phones on silent. After each session, you will get a link for voting. I request all the members to please cast your vote for your favorite role takers. The theme for today's meeting is saying goodbye. I had studied in Chennai till my class 9 in the same school since childhood. At the start of my 10th standard, my parents informed me that they are planning to shift to Hyderabad. Hearing this was a major shock for me, as I could not imagine life without my school friends. When I told my friends, they were also really shattered. On the last day of my school, all my friends had written their addresses to me so that we could keep in touch through letters. Those were still the days when online chatting had not yet become a norm. Finally, we all gathered together and had a tearful goodbye. As we grew up, though we could not keep in touch with each other due to multiple reasons, the heartfelt goodbye that we shared was the most beautiful moment of my childhood life. Now the next person to come on stage, according to her, many people come into our lives. They all teach us a lesson, and once that time is over, they all leave our lives. Now this is such a practical evaluation, isn't it? Please put your hands together for Madam President Toastmaster Hannah Victoria.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sai Deepak, for the lovely introduction and bringing the house in order. I call to meeting number 1353 open. A very good evening, my dear fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests. How many of you are first-time guests here? First time. Great, okay. If you can please share with us, any of you, your name and what brings you to Bangalore Toastmasters Club. Yeah, anyone?
My name is Dheeraj Khatri. I am a chartered accountant by profession, and I have recently shifted to Bangalore. This is my first week. This is the end of the first week, and I just knew somewhere that the Toastmaster Club is everywhere in India probably, and I just thought that I should start doing something on my soft skills, and probably this is going to help me in the long run. So that's why I'm here.
Great, thank you. Members, how do we welcome our guests? Toastmasters is probably the only platform which is dedicated to self-improvement. And when you give it time on this platform, 3 skills which you will learn is better listening, better thinking, and of course, better speaking. So to know more about Toastmasters, you can contact our Vice President Membership, Toastmaster Surekha, after the meeting, and she will brief you. Yes. The minutes of the meeting 1352 were passed on in WhatsApp and over mail. Any amendments to that meeting minutes? Shall we consider it as passed? I pass minutes of the meeting 1352. How many of us like new journeys, new thinking, new perspectives every once in a while? Great, nice. Anything we do on a daily basis becomes a sort of a routine. And that leads to conformity, complacency. This philosopher, J. Krishnamurti, he says, shame on you if you are going to the same office for 50 years. In order to do something new, we need to clear up our mind space, heart space, and hand space. So basically, you need to say goodbye to maybe a person or a habit which you know definitely is pulling you down, or something which is occupying your time. All of us have, what do you say? We do certain things which take up our time, and we want to do something else, and sorry, I just lost my train of thought. In life, actually, there are many times which we have bid goodbye. We have bid goodbye to our, like how Sai Deepak says, his school, college, maybe crushes, our first job. We have bid goodbye. And in life, actually, every living thing bids goodbye. Even the tree, it sheds off its leaves. At one point in time, those leaves were quite important for it. It nourished it. But then it sheds. A snake sheds its skin every once in a while. An eagle sheds off its feathers. So in life, everything we, at some stage, we do bid farewell. Some of the big, very great examples of goodbyes is, one of them is Sachin Tendulkar. When he announced his retirement, I think the whole nation was very afraid. What's going to happen to cricket? What is the future of the game? But then MS Dhoni came by, and Virat Kohli came by, and now Surya Kumar is on his way. Another big exit was Palki Sharma of Beyond. She was on top of her game. That show Gravitas, she tapped the audience, which was basically tired of loud journalism. She tapped that market, that audience. And then, whatever the circumstances were, okay, that's not our worry, but then she did bid goodbye. So, in every time now, basically, okay, another thing which I forgot to say is that goodbye comes from the word, from the phrase, God be with you. So as I hang up my boots in another 4 weeks, I wish the coming committee a new beginning, a new vision, and of course, a bigger and much more, a bigger club. With that, I'd like to introduce to you the Toastmaster of today, the person who takes it forward, takes the meeting forward. This Toastmaster is a young gentleman, but been a Toastmaster for the last 8 years. He's the humor king of our club. But what I like the most about his humor is that he will have a message through his humor. And he works in Vedanta, and I'm sure he's very, very influential. Why I say that is that during our 25th anniversary celebration, we needed help with videos, and he got his teammates to do our videos for us. So please join me to welcome Toastmaster Ankit Kumar.
Thank you for the fake applause. And an exaggerated introduction, influential. Wow, great. I'm a little short-sighted. Can I request the members of the back to come a little front? Please occupy the front seats. Since I'm a little influential, I want to influence you to come a little forward. Aditya, please come. You have a call. Okay, great. They say as a TMOD, you should always try to engage with the audience. So I'll keep it to the basics, and what lies ahead is a very simple game which is having 3 steps. Step number 1, I ask you a question. Step number 2, you answer if you know the answer. And step number 3, if you give a correct answer, you get a chocolate. Exciting, right? Great. Question number 1, and this is a very situational in nature. Ankit goes to a zoo. He enters the zoo. He goes to the first cage and he sees an animal which jumps from branch to branch. On the board, it's written langur. He goes to the second cage. There is an animal which is roaring. On the board, it's written king of the jungle, lion. Ankit goes to the third cage and there is a reptile that is changing its colors. What is written on the board? Chameleon. A reptile that can change its color is chameleon? No. It's called managers. It's called managers. And I have a rationale for this. My first day in office at work, my manager, Miss Aishwarya, called me into her cabin and she said, Ankit, we have a new training project in hand. From research to analysis to design to develop to implement to evaluate. Can you do all these things within the next 3 hours? If you do all these things, I will give you something. Now I repeat, she could have said, I will give you something, but she said like this, I will give you something. And I was excited, man. I was excited. I skipped my lunch, laser focus on my work. I finished my work within 2 hours. I went to the cabin and said, what will you give me now? She said, more work. In the morning, she behaves like Sandeep Maheshwari. She motivates the entire team. By evening, she becomes goddess Kali. I have become so annoyed with her that I had decided to resign. I put down my papers, and the moment I did that, she started behaving like Mother Teresa. She praised me for all the works which I have not even done. Moral of the story, the reptile that can change its color is managers. So nobody answered that, right? Question number 2. The only place in the world where everyone suddenly becomes an unpaid motivational speaker. I didn't say that. I'll give a chocolate to Rajdev sir. And let's not stretch on it since I have to be a member. The third question, and it's very factual in nature. The word goodbye, right? Who and when and who first used the word goodbye? Eve. What are you thinking, Puni? When and who first used the word goodbye? Nobody knows that.
Your manager.
My manager. Actually, that's correct. You know, once I asked her what you like the most about me, she said your absence. Goodbye was first used in 1573 by this English author and writer named Gabriel Harvey. And goodbye literally means God be with you. And goodbyes are so difficult, man. Goodbyes are so difficult, especially when we have to say goodbye to somebody we love the most, we do not want to part our ways with. We are 3 siblings, and I'm the youngest. Uh, and all the three of us have done our graduation from outside our native town, which is Jamshedpur. My eldest brother, Aman, when he was leaving the house, my mother came to him. She hugged him tight. She was crying. And she said, "Who will take care of you now? I'll miss you so much." And she was all teary. When my elder sister, she was leaving the house, and this is when I got to know the beautiful bond between the father and the daughter. My father hugged her tightly, and he said, "You are my queen. Will you promise that you'll take care of yourself?" When I was leaving my home, and I didn't know that my parents loved me so much until then, when I was leaving my home, both my parents hugged me. I was teary, and they said, "Get lost." I'm serious. Okay, fine. Let's come back to the meeting. Just for the benefit of the guests, the agenda of the meeting is as follows. The meeting is divided into three parts. The first part being the prepared speech section, where the speaker comes prepared with a speech, following the guidelines of the project in the manual that he or she has selected. Second part of it is what I call the public toilet session, which is the table topic session, and I'll give you the rationale when I come to that. Where a speaker comes on stage, picks up a topic on spot, thinks on beat and speaks. And the third one is where the real learning happens, the evaluation session. We also have a watchtower, the general evaluator, who evaluates the entire meeting right from the start until he speaks. Supported by a tag team, the timer, our counter, and the grammarian. The timer today is Toastmaster Chiran. May I request you to explain your role?
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As a timer, it is my duty to time the meeting, the entire meeting, from the beginning of the session to the adjournment, as well as its individual parts. So, as he suggested, we have a speaker formal speech session, which is about 5 to 7 minutes. So, when it is 5th minute, so I will raise a green card. When it is 6th minute, I will raise a yellow card, and when it is 7th minute, I will raise a red card. So there is a buffer of 30 seconds, so post which I will ring the bell, so the speaker is expected to leave the stage. So the same, the table topic session, so it is the table topic master will explain the duration, and then there is a evaluators who is going to have 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 2 minutes 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card, and 3 minutes, I will raise the green card. Thank you. Over to you.
We have the our counter Toastmaster Kamlesh. Will you please explain your role, sir?
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Do you enjoy a speed breaker while driving? No. So, same way that the crutch words and the vocal pauses are speed breaker of the communication. So today, as a counter, I will be noting down all the crutch words and the vocal pauses, and so be mindful of the crutch words and vocal pauses. Over to you.
And finally, we have the grammarian of the meeting, Toastmaster Alok. UPS speaker.
Exactly. As the grammarian for the day, I'll make note of the good usages and not so good usages of English language this evening. The word of the day is redolent, which means strongly suggestive of. And to use it in the sentence, Ankit's introduction was redolent of his frustration with his job. So it means strongly suggestive of. I'll also be making note of the usage of the word of the day. Looking forward to speaking with you at the end of the meeting.
Thank you. With that, let's take a jump into the prepared speech section. For the first speaker, we have an evaluator, Toastmaster Nazneen. Toastmaster Nazneen, will you please read out the guidelines of the project? Yes.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. The speaker is attending Level 1, Project 3 from the path Presentation Mastery. The purpose of the project is for the member to practice using vocal variety or body language to enhance a speech. The title of the speech is Stop Comparing. Everyone is good at something. Timer note, the duration is 5 to 7 minutes. I hope your speech makes it redolent at Birla Hall. All the best to the speaker.
When I asked this person what comes to your mind when you hear this word goodbye, he said, I have never in my life ever used this word goodbye. I always say we will meet again. And that gave me a food for thought. This Toastmaster has been in the IT industry for more than 15 years. He hails from the city of Gwalior, currently working in this prestigious organization called Goldman Sachs. The title of his speech is Stop Comparing, Everyone Has Something Special. Can we please give a big round of applause for Toastmasters?
Hello, my dear friend Rajesh. What happened? You are looking disturbed? Yeah, same thing happening. I am again being subjected to endless comparison. Today again my parents compared me with one of my cousins and told them, look at that uncle ka beta. He not only got job in good MNC, now going to US. Why these parents are not able to understand that I have something do good and can do something different and I am unique? Why I am again and again being subjected to any other person? Why can't I follow my passion, my interest and can look my life career in that direction? Today, my parents had called one astrologer to look into my horoscope. I think the astrologer had come. Namaskar, I am Prabhunaran Swami. Let me look into Rajesh horoscope. Okay, Rajesh, I can see some bad graha are surrounding you. It will require, okay, that is the reason why you are not able to think in right direction. It will require some puja. You will have to rearrange. After following all this practice, you will start thinking in right direction and understand what is good and bad for you. Okay, Panditji, I have a question. Can two persons have same line and impression on their palm? No, beta. Two persons cannot have same impression and lines on their palm similar to some impression. Okay, Panditji. If two persons cannot have same lines and impression on their palm, then why my friend is being compared to someone else? Why we cannot think that my friend Rajesh is good at something and can do something more better rather than comparing him with someone else and subjecting him to harassment and that you are not doing something which is being done by something else. I have a point. What if tomorrow my friend decide to become an astrologer and start looking into horoscope like you? Would you still say that, astrology profession is not good and he is not thinking in right direction? It is not hypocrisy. So dear all Toastmasters, these are very common and frequent communication and scenario which we see around us. Comparison. I myself feel lucky that I was not subjected to this kind of negative social comparison. But I have seen some of relative and neighbor, who compared me with someone else. And the comparison is endless. There is absolutely no end and no limit of that. If I am studying in local engineering college, I will be compared to NIT guys, and if I am studying in NIT college, I will be compared to IIT guys. But today I have seen many scenarios, even in my office, they were not NIT or IIT pass out, but they have become MD. Studies have shown that all people who are subjected to negative social comparison are more likely to experience fear, guilt, inferiority complex, and gradually they will develop lying, blaming other and negative mindset. Studies have also shown that people who face positive downward comparison will feel more happier compared to those people who face negative upward comparison. Because in positive downward comparison, I feel I am doing better than my peer. While in negative comparison, it is going to be demotivating and I will feel that I am worse off from my peer. Today, my friend Rajesh, who was pursuing his passion of running an NGO and doing some social service, is not an employee, he is an employer. He has expanded his NGO and today around 50 employees are working in his NGO and he has very huge impact on society in the community. So now I would like to conclude this speech with one of the award-winning answers given by 2021 Miss Universe Harna Sandhu. Stop comparing yourself with others. Let's talk about more important things happening worldwide. Because you are leader of your own life. You are voice of your own. I believe in myself, that's why I am standing here today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Truly said, sir. Truly said. Comparing is injustice to the talents we have. The sun and the moon shines at different times. However, very nice message. Please talk to my parents once. They don't think the same. For the next speech, can I request the evaluator DTM Dr. Rajdeep Manwani to lead out the Toastmaster Abhinandan? Can you just give him the background?
I don't have it. The second speech or presentation
Basically, giving a speech and getting feedback.
Okay. So the objective of the speech is getting the feedback from the speech and then applying it in the next speech. Am I correct, sir?
Yes.
Okay, great. Now this person, I asked him, what do you do for your job? He said, I'm an innovation manager. And then I asked him, what is this? Can you just explain the role to me? And he said, you won't understand. I'm like, why? Do I look so dumb? No, explain it to me. And then he did explain it to me, and finally I didn't understand. It's so complex, man. Now this person is an innovation engineer. He loves creating new products. He has been in the club for the last 2 months and has taken all the auxiliary roles. All set for the speech today. Can we have a round of applause for Toastmaster?
Around 15 years ago, or 20 years ago, I was on the way to a housewarming ceremony at a relative's place. I had the address, I hopped into an auto, and we made for the location. Upon reaching the locality, I couldn't find the place. So I stopped. I asked for directions. The person said, go straight and take a right. So I did that, and it turned out that those were the wrong directions, and I was lost. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, isn't it fascinating that now, in the year 2022, we GPS device wielding cyborgs don't know what it feels like to be lost anymore? Back to the story. So I managed to reach the place. I had my relation's number memorized. I called him, asked for the directions, and managed to reach the place. So I stepped out of the auto, pulled out my wallet, took out a 500 rupee note, and gave it to the auto driver. He looked at me and said, "No change, sir." So I took back the note from him, walked over to the nearby shop, handed it over to the shopkeeper. Asked him, sir, can you give me some change? He looked at me incredulously, as if I'd asked for his daughter's hand in marriage. No change, sir. Isn't it incredible that within the short span of a few years, concepts, ways of living such as asking for directions and running around with a large note asking to change have disappeared from our lives? We live in a new world. But is everything hunky-dory in this new world? Let's examine it with a few then and now scenarios. When I was little, I used to tag along with my father Sundays when we would go to Russell Market to buy the produce for the week. So I'd go along and I'd observe my father stop at each stall. And he had the knowledge to examine like meat, poultry, fish, vegetables, and figure out if it was fresh or not. And realization dawns that I don't have these skills anymore. But I guess I didn't need it because all I do is like I open my app, the Fresh to Home app, and I order stuff and I trust them to send me fresh stuff. But honestly, I don't really know if what I'm being sent is fresh or not. The fish I had a couple of days back was terrible. And yeah, so that's one life skill that I seem to have lost. Let's take another example. When I was in school, I was a very good student, but it turned out that once in a while in term 1, I wouldn't do so well because I couldn't understand what the teacher was teaching. So the solution in such a case, from term 2 onwards, would be to go for tuition classes. But this presented a big difficulty because while there were many tuition classes around, the good teachers were so few and their batches were filled out, so we couldn't really find good teachers. Consider the scenario now. A person who does not understand something in class can go back home, open YouTube, and access lessons from the greatest, from the best teachers in the world, not in his circle, but throughout the world. And this is accessible even to adults. We can learn anything. It's like all knowledge and all schools are held in the palm of our hand. What an amazing world. Consider the example of a young man about 2 or 3 decades ago. He wanted to be famous. He wanted to make it big on the silver screen. He asked his parents for money to go for acting classes. They told him, have you seen your face in the mirror? So he had to run away to Bombay, get a job as a waiter, live in a room with 10 people as he scraped his way through to pay for acting school. Today, the same person, all he needs to do is borrow a phone with a good camera, make a video, upload it to TikTok, gather followers, go viral, and before he knows it, advertisers and talent scouts are knocking on his door. Today, the great stars of the silver screen have to share their limelight with thousands of YouTube stars and reel makers and whatever they're called. Yeah, so many examples exist now of ways in which lives have changed. We don't go to the library anymore. We don't write long letters or long emails. More recently, we've stopped standing in the queue to buy movie tickets, to draw money from the ATM. These are ways of life that have almost disappeared or are on their way out. No other group of generations has experienced so many changes in such a short period of time. Even when the TV replaced the radio, it happened over a couple of decades. So what are the consequences of not having that time to assimilate all these changes and settle into them slowly? We don't know because we are living through these changes. Maybe it's a good thing to be lost once in a while. Maybe it's good for our brains to memorize phone numbers. Maybe our sense of direction is being eroded by using digital maps. Maybe it's good to go to the market once in a while to absorb the sights and sounds rather than being confined in our rooms. Maybe it's good to write a long letter to a friend or receive one. The old ways of living slow things down. They give us something to do. The new ways, they give us time. But what do we do with that time? Do we spend it endlessly scrolling on Instagram, or do we spend it learning a new skill on YouTube? Over to the Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Abhinandan, for re-emphasizing on the fact that we are so dependent on our gadgets and the different platforms that consume so much of our time. The next speaker, can I request the evaluator, Toastmaster Ratan Shetty, to read out the guidelines?
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. The next speaker is attempting the project Understanding Your Leadership Style. The objective, the purpose of the project is for the member to identify his primary leadership style. The purpose of this speech is for the member also to share some aspect of his primary leadership style or discuss leadership styles in general. Time manager, please note, speech length is 5 to 7 minutes. Back to you.
Well, I called this person to get to know more about him, just so that I could introduce him well from the stage. And even before I could speak on the call, he said, "Ankit, I know you've called me for my introduction. I'm very frustrated now." I said, "Oh, what happened, man?" Like, it's been 2 years. I'm going for lunch with the same companion during work. I'm like, "Who's this companion?" He's like, "My wife." And then I said, "What happened? I mean, people have assumed to work from office." He's like, "No, my office is not calling me. I want a change." I was like, "Change in what? Wife?" He said, No. I want to change. I want to change in a workplace. But I'm sure he'll get a better workplace once he goes ahead and resumes office. This person has been a member of the club for the last 3 years, and it's been a delight to watch him, to see him on stage speaking always. Can we put a big round of applause for Toastmaster Ajit? So we as individuals go through different phases of life by looking at someone. As a kid, it was your parents and your teachers. As an adult, it's your friends or beautiful neighbors. Or as a professional, it's your manager or your colleagues. And as a Toastmaster, it's your president or the fellow Toastmasters. There's something special in them. Any guesses? Empathy, trust, self-awareness. I can keep going on and on. Good evening, Toastmasters and friends. Good evening. Good evening. Leadership in today's world is such a ubiquitous word. Right from being a good mentor in Toastmasters, being a good parent or a manager, or being a great individual. Everyone wants to be a leader. However, today we're going to see some of the styles of 5 great personalities. What makes them so charismatic, why they have lots of fans and followers, and why people adore them a lot. Mahatma Gandhi. I'm sure all of you will agree he was a great transformational leader. Be it his satyagraha, mass movement, or non-violence, India got independence because of Mahatma Gandhi's legacy, right? And he practiced what is called a servant leadership. So being calm and composed, leading from front, and being non-violent, are these qualities of a leader? Probably yes. What about Steve Jobs? He's the other end of the spectrum, isn't it? So people in Apple used to get scared to get along with him in the elevator. The reason being, by the time he comes out, he would have fired 4 or 5 people there. Those guys will take the same elevator back home. But still, he was quite famous. Reason being, every product of Apple was manifestation of Steve Jobs' creativity and design. Whole world was moved by those cool products. Was this Doglapan of Steve Jobs? So if you hear of Doglapan, here comes a man who means business. The stunning shark Ashmir Grover. Some say he's honest, some say he's rude, but his simple fundas and rawness defined his leadership. Even today, a lot of entrepreneurs look up to him for his sheer clarity of thought and the kind of direction he gives in entrepreneurship. He went on to create 2 unicorns and he's starting the 3rd unicorn. By the way, his new company is also called 3rd Unicorn. And in a country which eats and sleeps cricket, men's cricket rules the length and breadth of the country like India. However, in not so conducive environment, there was one lady who rose up the ladder, none other than Mithali Raj. She was the one with her brutal honesty and sheer empathy did empower a lot of women to take sport, especially cricket. Even today, a lot of women look up to her and they want to venture into sports. If I look back my own life, it was a roller coaster ride. I hail from a small town called KGF. I'm sure many of you would have seen the movie KGF. It has a lot of violence, isn't it? By the way, I practice non-violence. And my father is a conservative man. He used to play safe whenever he makes any decision. However, my mom was completely opposite. She used to push me hard, make me to go over and beyond. Though I was from a small town, I did study hard and I got into one of the prestigious Ivy College of Engineering in Bangalore. I was quite reluctant to take up the seat. But it was my mother who really inspired me and that made me to study for 4 years in Bangalore, living in the hostel. And I came out successful out of the college. Soon after the college, I started to struggle again. I could not find a job. As a mechanical engineer, I ended up being on a production floor, working right from morning 5 a.m. to past midnight. I was dejected. I was so fed up, I abruptly quit my job one day. But I told to myself, I'll never give up. That's when I took up some learning courses and I landed up a job in a software world. In 2008, I was in New York. What a beautiful nightlife of Manhattan. I just can't forget that. A lot of rendezvous with friends around. And it was just a year, it did not last long when US went into deep recession in 2008. And that's when Lehman Brothers crashed. And that's when US was saying goodbye. And it so happened, life taught me a lot of hard lessons. These crucibles come unplanned. They're so intense and sometimes traumatic. And I have really learned the hard way. I drew some meaning out of these negative events. Like a phoenix, I did rise from my ashes. I grew stronger year after year. I did help a lot of my friends find jobs. They're so happily settled today. And today, I'm so happy standing on stage, speaking here after nearly 2 years since COVID started. So who do you want to be? Mahatma Gandhi? Steve Jobs? Ashneer Grover? Mithali Raj? Or a kid like me from KGF? My dear fellow Toastmasters and friends, there is no set template for leadership. You can't derive any formula to be a great leader. However, believe in yourself, stay true to yourself, and provoke some positive change day in and day out towards your goal. I repeat, provoke some positive change day in and day out towards your goal. Only then you will discover your authentic leadership. Okay.
Thank you so much for that insightful speech. I'm sure you'll be a great leader with the experience you've had in your life, Toastmaster Ajit. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. And today we have a member to be waiting to take the first step towards his journey in public speaking. Yes, I'm talking about the induction ceremony to happen now. And for that, for doing the honors, may I call upon the weekly membership of the Club Toastmasters to come out.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, esteemed guests, and a new member to be in particular. Whenever a new member wishes to join Toastmasters, we are required to conduct an induction ceremony. And today, on December 2nd, it is our duty and our privilege to induct one new member into our prestigious Bangalore Toastmasters Club. And actually, friends, isn't this a win-win situation? It's a win for him and it's a win for us too. It's a win for him because he's here to learn and grow. And it's a win for us because we are here to share, serve and seek higher ground by helping him learn, grow and achieve. So this new member to be is a Pakka Bangalorean by birth. He is currently working as an associate consultant in a consultation company. And he has three major passions. They are cricket, swimming and traveling. Please help me welcome with a loud band Prasad MS onto the stage. I would now ask all of you all to withhold your applause till the ceremony is over. Prasad, you are now about to join an international organization which is committed towards helping its members grow in your communication and leadership skills. You are also now about to join the historic, the legendary Bangalore Toastmasters Club, which is not only one of the oldest clubs in the country, but the second largest too. And I, as VP membership, on behalf of Bangalore Toastmasters Club, along with my colleagues, express our pride and our joy in welcoming you into our club. And though VP membership Vaidyanathan is not present here today with us, I have confirmed with him and he has informed me that he has assigned Toastmaster Vijay Kalkundri as your mentor. And I have also confirmed with Toastmaster Vijay Kalkundri and he has accepted the responsibility of your mentorship and he has agreed to share his wisdom and his experience with you. Now Prasad, membership in Toastmasters International and in Bangalore Toastmasters Club is both a privilege and a responsibility too. We are here because all of us recognize a very simple yet a very profound truth. A truth which says that we cannot do it alone. We are here to move on the trust and the support that we lend one another. And this means that you must be an active member of the club, attend your meetings regularly, perform your duties fully, and strive hard towards keeping our club strong and dynamic, vital and vibrant. I now request you to put your right hand forward and to repeat this oath after me. I,
Prasad,
in the presence of my fellow members of the Bangalore Toastmasters Club, make this firm obligation to attend meetings regularly and prepare fully for each assignment, to apply myself to the projects outlined in the Toastmasters education program, to participate actively in club activities, to evaluate others in a positive, constructive manner, to build open, friendly relationships with my fellow members, and to bring other new members into the club so that they can also gain the benefits of Toastmasters. Thank you, Prasad. You can now put your hand up. Thank you very much. I will now ask only the members of the club to kindly stand up. Please put your right hand forward as you take this oath. We, the members of Bangalore Toastmasters Club, pledge to support you in your quest for self-development, to provide you with positive, helpful evaluations, to maintain a friendly, supportive atmosphere, to give you opportunities to help others, and to make your Toastmasters membership a rewarding and fulfilling experience. Thank you very much. You may now occupy your seats. It is now my pleasure to declare you as the newly installed member of Bangalore Toastmasters Club. Congratulations. I now request Madam President Hannah to present the membership certificate to our newly inducted member. Thank you, Madam President Hannah, for doing the honors. And Toastmaster Prasad, it sounds good, isn't it, Toastmaster Prasad? You are welcome to come and be with our BTMC family. Together we laugh, learn and grow and share with you all that we know. You are welcome to come and be with our BTMC family. Let's give a big warm welcome to our new members. This brings a closure to the induction ceremony. May God bless you all.
Toastmasters, do you remember your induction? It's such a special moment. It's such a special moment. It's Toastmaster Prasad. Welcome to this big family, and onwards and upwards from here. No looking back from the stage. Can we have a round of applause for Toastmasters? With that, I think with so many good things happening, at a stretch we need some break. Let's break for 5 minutes, and you can use this break for getting to know the other members, making new friends, networking, or use the loop if you want to. We'll meet again at 7:30 exactly. 5 minutes. Thank you so much. Alright, I missed it. The voting line is open to vote for the speaker you like the most, the best speaker you like the most. It's in the WhatsApp group for the members. The password is ADIOS. ADIOS. Is it letter specific? Is it the capital letter? Case specific? No. Okay. So ADIOS is the passcode. You may go ahead and vote for the speaker you like the most. You can play. We'll be recording. Thank you so much for being here again on time. The next session is very exciting, and I told you, and I've told this many a time, that I consider this session as a public toilet session. The ones who, in public toilet, the ones who are standing outside want to go inside. The ones who are inside desperately want to come outside. Right? In this session, the people sitting as a part of the audience, they want to come in and speak, test themselves, but once they are here, they just want to run back. Isn't it? It's so scary. But at the same time, I'm so jealous of all the members because everyone comes here, nails it, speaks so well with all those spontaneous topics, and that's something that I always feel. In fact, the other day I was talking to Sharma ma'am. Is she here? Sharma ma'am? Yes. I asked her, ma'am, what do you do? I mean, you go to the stage and speak so nicely every time. She said, Ankit, you just think of nothing, go and speak. Is that it? And I applied that, did not work at all. So yeah, that must be a lie, or she has practiced a lot before coming on here for the table topic session. To conduct this amazing session, we have an expert Toastmaster, we have a veteran Toastmaster, Abhay Kothari to conduct this session. Please give a round of applause to Toastmaster.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Welcome to the table topic session. Well, I beg to differ a little bit from our Toastmaster today. Whether it's a public toilet or private toilet, you do need one, and do that too regularly. So, table topics is very simple and very effective in helping you build your communication skills. And for the benefit of the guests, let me tell you that what I'm going to be doing now. So, I will read out the topic and call a member on stage, and he or she has to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. The timer will indicate the time. So at 1 minute, the green card will be up, like so. At 1.5 minutes, you will see the yellow, and at red, you have to conclude and leave the stage. Alright? So, I'll try my best to make it absolutely interesting. So, the first topic for the day is wisdom is knowing what to ignore. Wisdom is knowing what to ignore. Toastmaster Joseph.
So, topic master, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests, I wish he was wise enough to ignore me for this table topic. Well, wisdom is definitely what we need to ignore. Yes, that's the thought that we need to have, because I was just coming across a thought today that the more choices we have, the more difficult it is to choose amongst it, and that is the biggest crisis that we have today. Now, as one of the Toastmasters was saying today, there's so much of technology and we have so many options. Now, that again is a big complication, because back in those times, my times, you know, we had very little choice. So, it was very easy to choose things. So, whereas now, the problem is in finding the right choice. So, having a lot of choice is actually a big problem these days. And what you need to do is use your wisdom, use your experience and all your learnings to first omit what you don't need. And that's how you channelize, focus yourself and find out what you really need. And that, I think, will help you make the right choice and overcome all whatever obstacles that you have, that you face. Over to you.
Looks like Toastmaster Joe is not a customer of Amazon. Well, our next topic is the man, it's a quote from Confucius. The man who chases two rabbits catches neither. The man who chases two rabbits catches neither. And for this we have Toastmaster Aditya. The man who chases two rabbits catches neither.
Okay. Well, it's an age-old saying. It goes without saying that there's a better version of this in Hindi. Does anybody know that? दो नाव में पैर रखोगे तो डूब जाओगे, right? I want to take a simple example from my own life from a couple of weeks ago. I was heavily involved in something at work, and I was also parallelly preparing for my TMOD role. And what this led to was I couldn't do either really well in a day, because while I was working, I was thinking about preparing for TMOD. When I was preparing for TMOD, I was thinking about working. And I wasn't absolutely focused on either of those. And while in the end it all came out really well, I was able to do a decent enough job as a TMOD. I was also able to barely manage letting by my boss not getting scolded for the work which was half-as done. So when we talk about doing two things at the same time, it is actually a modern day myth that multitasking is cool. Me personally, I preach deep work, and what deep work allows you is, like, let's just say you are to pursue two different things at a particular time. You can use deep work and complete one thing very efficiently in a time efficient manner, and also have enough time at your hand to pursue the other thing. So when I talk about deep work as a method of working, try doing this. There's a very brilliant book by the same title, Deep Work. What you can do is you can complete one task with all your laser focus. I remember Ankit mentioning laser focus because his manager said something she'll give. So take that kind of motivation if you have to. Take that kind of motivation if you have to. But definitely use deep work to complete your task at hand with your laser focus. And whatever time is left after completing one thing, you can focus on the other one. Thank you.
Thank you for connecting so well to the topic, Toastmaster. Our next topic is What is the worst haircut you have ever had? What is the worst haircut you have ever had? And for that, I'd like to call Toastmaster Puneet.
I got very lucky during COVID because I discovered a very interesting scientist and fashion designer out of US who had an entire body of work on fashion, on colors. And I told her, listen, I can't afford you and your books. They are very expensive. I can't afford the shipping. Forget the books cost. Can you just give me a discount or something? And she saw that email and she's like, you know what? I checked your workout. I saw your TEDx talk. I saw your podcast. Really cool stuff. I'm going to send you everything. So she sent me a drive link of all her body of work of over 30 years. So I sat down for 2 to 3 months, went through it, revamped my wardrobe and wrote back to saying, look, I've revamped my wardrobe, but I'm not able to figure out my hairstyle. I know what I am. Through her categories, I was a classic winter, I knew my colors, I knew everything, what fabrics work with me, but I'm not able to figure out my hairstyle. So I sent her about 50 photos of 50 different hairstyles, beard styles I had over time. Every 6 months, I revamp my hairstyle, my entire wardrobe, my outlook. It's like an update I do. And that's why when I meet some of the members after a while, they have no idea. Yesterday evening, I was at a dinner at Gillies, and I met a few startup founders. I had lunch with them 6 months ago, and they reintroduced themselves to me the moment they met me. And they, huh? And then they were in disbelief for 5 minutes that I was the same guy that met and had lunch with at MTR 6 months ago. Because I revamped my style all the time. So back to Irene Writer, I told her, listen, these are the amount of hairstyles I've done, beard styles I've done, tell me what works for me. She looked through all the 60 photos and she picked one and said, this hairstyle is perfect for you. The waves are nice, it has a holistic look, you look symmetric. And she picked another picture and she's like, this beard style is perfect. You have to have sharp beard, always trimmed right, not a hair out of place. And I was like, that is perfect. So I figured that and I systemized it for myself. Of course, I still experiment, and if you see my hairstyle right now, which is I'm getting comfortable with my curls. Yeah, 30 seconds, buddy. I'm getting comfortable with my curls. And I think the last hairstyle I'm going to have, and then I'm going to go back to Irene, is this. I'm going to have my curls all the way to my shoulder length and back. So yeah, that's my hair experiment.
Thanks, Puneet. What can I say? Puneet. Okay, for our next topic, we have you can disagree without being disagreeable. You can disagree without being disagreeable. Toastmaster Sharma.
Thank you. Good evening, my fellow Toastmasters, guests, and all gathered over here.
Good evening.
So, looking at my face, you all feel that I disagree on anything? Anytime?
No.
No. So, most of the time, yes, if I am disagreeing with something, maybe at home, my husband, when we have a conversation. So, at that time, even though I disagree, it comes up, on my face. But that's not the same all the time. So if you want to disagree, you can always politely say. If you don't like something, maybe someone offers you something and you don't want to accept it, you take it. You say it is nice. And don't hurt that person. So disagreeing is not that always, it's for your own purpose, because at times, because we live in a world wherein there are different kinds of people. So you can always disagree with a person who is, willing to accept it. May not be with everyone. Maybe few people may not like, or maybe they would have come with a high hopes on you. Maybe you are the only hope for them. So when they come to you and when they ask a favor, so you need to know, you need to understand, should you disagree or you need to agree to that person. So it all depends upon you and also with the people around you. So take your choices wisely and agree or disagree wisely. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sharma. The person who is made to disagree with you, your husband. Or any husband. become friends? Can enemies ever become friends? Toastmaster Vishwanath.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. I would agree to this. Actually, it is not an easy thing when enemies sometimes becomes friend. The reason could be there are multiple things. I think it happened in my own life actually. So it was in the school days where he always used to pull me down on a couple of things. One is definitely we all know actually we go to school to study only, right? Probably I was scoring a better maths in maths compared to him actually, and it happens that he used to come to me and ask certain questions, and probably I used to help him a lot. So his point of view was to make sure actually that what I know he is also learning is one point of it, of course. And the second also he used to make me actually to kind of not to agree on certain aspects. For example, if there is a way to do on certain steps in a math problem, we all know there are multiple ways to do a math problem. So he used to come back with multiple where it was a wrong step probably. So he used to mislead me on a lot of stuff. So he was not like an enemy to me, but it's a way to pulling down. So that is what we all know, right? In this current professional work, it happens even in profession also, that everyone wants to be better out of the peers and do well actually. And even though there is a suggestion to give, we will not give suggestion, but it always inspires us to do better. So according to me, actually enemies are good to have. That way, so we can sense certain things. Probably we might be in the negative way. We can take those feedbacks, apply ourselves, and move forward. That's the way. Thank you.
Very well said, Toastmaster Vishwanath. Okay, for our next topic is share a favorite memory with your grandparent or a parent. Toastmaster Sujata.
Good evening, dear Toastmasters and my dear guests.
Good evening.
Grandparents and spending time with them is really awesome. When I was, of course, as many of you are aware that I came from a small village, and my grandparents were also a neighboring village only. That they were farmers, and when I was when I was into below 10 years and all, I used to go to grandma's house, where she used to treat me as I was the first grandchild to them. She used to treat me with very pampering, and whatever the food what she used to prepare, and she used to serve me. Till now, I never forget. In Andhra style food, many of you maybe knowing the pappu, mudda pappu and avakaya, and also in that she ghee which is prepared from her own animals buffaloes. With that, she used to feed me so nicely, it was very, very great. Even as on date, my grandparents are not there, but the moments which I cherish with them is unforgettable.
Thank you for that interesting share. Alright, the next topic is experience is what you get when you don't get what you wanted. Experience is what you get when you don't get what you wanted. Toastmaster Vivek.
Usually it's the other way around. When you don't get what you really want, it's only frustration. Nobody really thinks about it as oh, this is a great lesson, I failed in this. Oh, that's really fantastic. These are the lessons, let me go ahead and apply things. All those happens only in this motivational book. That is the reason why it gets sold on Brigade Road and Church Street at very low cost, because it's useless. Essentially, when you really achieve something, or when you get what you really want, because you would have really planned on getting something, and there is a method to that, method to the whole thing, how you made it happen, then there's an hypothesis, right? I mean, if I want to achieve something in life, then something even as simple as going on a bicycle ride to Ramnagar or something as simple as that, and if you make it happen, okay, if you make it happen, because there are so many things which will work against you not to make it. If you make it happen, then you have lessons to just prove. Otherwise, it's only frustration. These are all motivational books. All these are Western propaganda. They have enough of all the basic necessities in life. They are looking for all these nonsense pleasures. We are still, most of us are struggling for basic necessities. We do not know if the water will come when I open the tap. I have no idea. So I have to be prepared. I mean, only when I succeed something, I desire something. Otherwise, don't get into all this. Only when I succeed, I make something. Otherwise, nothing.
Leave it to Toastmaster Vivek to break something down like this. That was amazing. Alright. The next one is, what is your favorite way to waste time online? Your favorite way to waste time online, Toastmaster Rashi. She was already, raising her eyebrows when I announced this. So give it up for her.
What is my favorite
way
to do?
Waste time online.
So I have exams coming up from Monday, and the best thing that I'm doing right now is YouTube videos. Like, I know I'm supposed to be watching YouTube videos where I learn my syllabus, but no, that's not happening. I'm watching Paris, France, people getting ready for Christmas and all the joyous things apart from my syllabus. And I think I can do 100 different things to waste my time, but I'm not supposed to be wasting time because this is the best time that I have to utilize and make my career, apparently. So I hope I stop wasting my time. I have watched hundreds of YouTube videos for motivation, but yeah, that's also not helping. But I hope one day it helps me. So yeah.
Well, wish you all the best with the exams. Alright, the next topic is, it's a quote by Paulo Coelho. Whatever you decide to do, make sure you are happy. Whatever you decide to do, make sure you're happy. Toastmaster Sagar Chatterjee.
Thank you for this opportunity to speak on the stage again. So whatever you decide to do, make sure you are happy. But how do you decide that you are happy? I mean, do you decide that what will make me happy and then go looking for what you want to do? Or do you get to do something and then find happiness in that? I think it's the other way around. You have to do something and you find your joy in it. You try and decide to do it well, and doing something well is exactly what makes you happy. Thank you.
Thank you. Alright, the next topic is, to do something, the will to do it is more important than the resources and knowledge. To do something, the will to do it is more important than the resources or knowledge. Toastmaster Bruno.
Wisdom is knowing what to ignore.
I don't know.
Wisdom, I think.
So do something. The will to do it is more important than resources or knowledge.
That's absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. I recently joined a new organization, and in that I have to have administrative privileges on my laptop to install many things to experiment. Unfortunately, the company was acquired by one more company, and the new company policy is not to give administrative privileges on my laptop. So I cannot install anything. So the only way to do it now, I cannot simply say to ask my manager not to do, not that I won't do in task. So I have will to complete because I have to get my salary in time. So what I'm doing right now is, I have another separate personal machine. I'm using that for my office work. Because I have all the privileges on that machine, and I'm doing everything about that. And in every meeting I keep raising this flag, hey, I'm using a personal machine, not the office laptop. So if you want me to do the same thing in my office laptop, please give me all the privileges. And the manager says, yeah, we are working on that. And since just because my manager and my other colleagues were part of the organization that was acquired by the new organization, they still have the privilege of doing whatever they want. Once they have to return their machines and get new machines, and they'll definitely go through all the pain that I'm going through right now. So, the summary is, if you have a will, and more than will, if you have no choice, then you'll find something else.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bruno. I again go back to the first topic about wisdom. Alright, the next topic is what is your least favorite food as a child? Your least favorite food as a child? Toastmaster.
So my least favorite food as a child, and it still continues, my seething hatred for lemon rice. Like every time I see lemon rice, I'm so averse by the sensations, the flavor, the texture, everything about it is so off-putting. So that's one of the worst foods I've ever had. That's why I'll never have it again. However, a crucial part of my hobby or career is dieting. So being a professional bodybuilder, you have to eat certain foods which you don't really like sometimes. For example, chicken breast, broccoli and rice. At times when you're dieting, to achieve like a steep deficit to drop the weight and to get a specific look. So you need to look past the superficial flavors and taste in order to achieve your results. So using diet as a tool to achieve a certain objective, you need to get past all the human desires, and you need to think of the final end goal, which is your, you placing first in a certain competition. So that concludes my speech about the most hated food and why we should look past it.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Someday you might have to eat lemon rice. Alright. The next topic is a correct decision too late is also a wrong decision. A correct decision taken too late is also a wrong decision, and this goes to a speech crafter brain. Okay. So, he's not here. So, Toastmaster Adam now. Correct decision too late is a wrong decision.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Yes.
Good evening.
Decisions, right or wrong, have a huge significance in terms of timing. And a good decision with the wrong timing is not really a good decision. It may have been a good decision with better timing at the right time, right? I'll give you an example, something which all of us may know, and I'll give you a personal example. Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the best footballers, of our generation, of my generation at least. But some of you may have read what happened right now with Manchester United tearing up his contract, his famous interview with Piers Morgan. You see, when he left a team he was with for 9 years and won so many titles, he was at the peak of his career, and so was the club that he was at, which was Real Madrid, right? He chose to leave over various considerations, and that was a bad time because he could have stayed for a couple of years. But since then, his career went down. And there's so many other famous stories of NBA stars, Super Bowl players, who sometimes choose to leave clubs for greener pastures, money, endorsements, things like that. But then their careers go down. And since then, the club struggled. He has also not been at the level that he was because he didn't have the team around him, right? Personally, I've seen it happen with one of my closest friends and colleagues who was in the same firm as I, but who was struggling in her day-to-day work and pretty much sat next to me. And the decision should have been to leave to do a slightly different role at another company, right? But she put it off. She wanted to be very conservative. She thought leaving a job too soon may reflect badly on her. She thought, let me stick around this for a couple of years. But what would have been a good decision to leave, albeit a little early, which is fine, she put off for a couple of years. And she felt so unhappy with the legal profession that she wanted to take a break from it altogether, which was a further detriment to her career, right? And that's why sometimes leaving early is the right decision. Staying on too late, well, you only see yourself become a villain. And that's why it's all about timing to make good decisions. Thank you.
Alright. Since Aaron mentioned it's all about timing, last topic for the day. What makes the grass greener on the other side? I've always wondered. What makes the grass greener on the other side? And to know thoughts, Toastmaster Vijaya. Give one more.
It just seems that the grass is greener on the other side. Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters and guests. One outstanding classic example, perhaps every married man, when he looks at his neighbor's house. It seems the people in that house are very, very pretty. It's only at close quarters when you go into that house, you know how pretty the people are. So it's one example I think all of us are going through. Let's come to those of you who have children. It seems that the other children are studying very well. That their grades are excellent, they're topping their school, sports, extracurricular, they're doing well in all walks of life. It's only when you think about that kid, you get into that household, you will know the 1,000 things that kid is going through, and you will give your kid the biggest bear hug. Talk about work. Our friend Ankit was talking about managers, right? You feel that your manager is difficult to deal with, and you see, let's take example, a good friend Alok, his manager, wow, he's so lucky, man. Look at his manager, right? How blessed he is. Now, you were to talk to Alok, and he can tell you the entire week, entire month, how tough his manager is. And trust me, it just seems the grass is greener on the other side. It's not, friends, because you're looking at it from a distance, it's a mirage. Where you are standing, the grass is the greenest. You've got to believe that. And how does one do that? When you're thankful for what you have. Because if you're always comparing, like some of the presentations, yes, it seems the grass is brown here and the grass is green there. So if you're thankful, you will trip on grass. I mean the grass, not what I meant, but literally the grass where you are standing. Back to the topic, Master.
To being thankful. Go and do it like this. Alright, so the Sergeant at Arms has told me that the voting link for the best table topic speaker is out, and the voting code is adios. And it's time for me to also say adios. Over to you, Toastmaster.
I think this was the first table topic session where all the speeches looked so prepared. In other words, everyone nailed it, isn't it, guys? Yes. Everyone spoke so well. For the session conducted so well, can we have a big round of applause? Feedback is the breakfast for champions, they say. So we won't waste any time. We'll just get into the evaluation session to be conducted by one of the maestros in evaluation and listening skills. He is an IT professional with more than 25 years of experience, has been a member of the club for more than 12 years now. So you see all the expertise comes in right now. Can we have a big round of applause for the general evaluator of the meeting, Toastmaster Sudeep Ghosh.
for such kind words. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, how are you today? And how is the session going today? How do you feel? Good? Awesome?
Yeah.
Same here for me, except when it started off, right? I was really devastated. Our Madam President came on the stage and mentioned that anyone in the current job for more than 15 years, shame on you. My face fell. Then again, Ankit came and livened things up, and a few moments later he mentioned, you're a chameleon. I meant, I'm a manager by profession, and he really nailed it on. But things improved significantly after that. So let's start with the evaluations. The session started right dot on 6:30. Sai Deepak, kudos to not only you, to the entire committee, because to make the session start at 6:30, there's a lot of things which have to be done before in the board, and a lot of the things done in the week prior to the meeting, where you assemble all the speakers together and take care of speakers dropping out at the end. So Sai Deepak, very well done, not only on starting. You were very crisp today. I've seen you in the earlier occasions, and you really imbibed the feedback. You were just short of 3 minutes, which is ideal as a sergeant at arms, and you set the tone for the meeting very well. Only thing which you can probably improve upon is, I thought you were, when you were speaking, you were under some kind of pressure. You were like very thinking, speaking. You were like kind of psyched out, right? So just like you smiled right now, that smile would have helped a lot. Other than that, great job done, and let's hear it for you. Moving on to our president, Hannah, as opposed to Sai, you came with that winning smile of you, immediately connected to all the audience. Great thing that you talked to, acknowledge the guests and at least had one of them speak up, so that also was a really nice gesture on your part. You went on to the theme of the meeting. You had a plethora of examples, right? Right from snake to palki. I mean, examples were good, but it didn't lead to anywhere, right? You didn't conclude, you didn't connect the examples. Okay, fine, change happened, but so what, right? You didn't come to the so what example. So what part, and probably because I don't think you prepared enough, right? That showed up in between also, but leave that aside, that preparation would have connected the things back. But other than that, you have a brilliant meeting after meeting. So let's hear it for our esteemed president. Next, going on to the Toastmaster of the day, Ankit. Ankit, what a brilliant job you have done. Absolutely brilliant, absolutely. I've loved this session. Throughout, you have so many humorous examples, situations you have brought forth, and I mean that calls for, as you mentioned in one of the chats, right? That calls for a lot of preparation. It's not that you come and come back with these one-liners and all this, right? It's a result of at least a few days worth of preparation. Thank you for doing that, and thank you for being here. Along with that, I also want to, not only the preparation part, you also were, while you said table topics is not your favorite, but you were like really thinking on the feet, right? When you connected the speaker so well after Saurav finished his speech, you immediately said, okay, I will have you talk to my parents, right? You not only connected, you thought on the feet. I mean, kudos all round, right? What can I tell you? What can you do better? A couple of points I would say. So the first one, when you called Saurav on the stage, you mentioned, let's see, hear it for Saurav, right? Your pitch of the voice was low, but that's not the issue. The issue was pitch could be low there. Hear it for Saurav. Actually, the speaker has to come out at a much higher pitch, right? So the speaker himself feels encouraged, and the audience can relate to who the speaker is. That's one. The other part was that. So you had lovely intros for all the speakers? No, most of the speakers. our debonair tabletop master had no intro at all. And what about our evaluators, right? They deserve at least a light from you. Right? So if you can take care of that, other than that, you have been brilliant all through. Let's hear it for the demo. Next, Madam Surekha conducted the induction ceremony very professionally, and that takes a lot of doing because we have seen few of your earlier inductions that they were top notch, and with that expectation set, you still come and meet or beat the expectations. It's very hard to do week on week, or maybe not week on week, but induction ceremony on induction ceremony. Very well done, right? I mean, that's nothing much I can say. A small point maybe is just a slip of tongue. You mentioned about what's the name?
Prasad.
Prasad working in a consultation company. It's a consultancy company. Right? That's just one thing which sounded odd to me on my ear. But other than that, great job done as usual. Let's hear it for her. Next, as we said, we have the very debonair table topic master, Abhay. Great table topics done. What I really liked about it is great set of topics. Right? Table topics is not only getting speakers on the stage. It's one of the tenets of Toastmasters is better thinking, and topics were great, but they were not easy. Right? But I'm really surprised, as Ankit mentioned, everybody spoke so well. I am with you, Ankit. I'm really jealous of the speakers who spoke today. Right? But great selection of topics, make people think on on their feet. Just one thing, I don't know whether you did it or not, so let me ask. Any member today who did not speak, or can you raise your hand? All members spoke? Fantastic. Then there's nothing to be said. Great job. Okay, I will go on to my evaluators now. First speaker was Saurav, and to evaluate Saurav, we have Nazneen on the stage.
Effective communication depends much more on the tone of your voice and body language than the words that you actually speak. Good evening, Toastmasters, guests, and my target speaker, sir, in particular. The way you entered the stage was, you showed confidence, body language to the best. Your content, title, and your overall speech were in line with the message. I appreciate the way you use the tools and the speed and volume. You articulated your speech and painted the words with your eye contact, which brought credibility to your speech. You have your own style and body language. I particularly liked the conversation between the two friends that you had. You were confident, and whatever you spoke, you were good. Now, how could you make it better? The title of the speech was a sentence. The title could have just been "Stop Comparing." It's self-explanatory. That would have done very well. And when you were speaking with those two speakers, you could have modulated your voice much more than what you did. The tone was the same, just that you changed the sides. Your gestures and unintentional movements which were not necessary could have been avoided. I'm sure the next time you can do purposeful movements. To summarize, I would say, yes, you could have used the word of the day, and definitely you had more time left. You could have utilized that time. The transition should be smooth. And pause. Let that sink into the audience, what you're saying. Don't be too fast. Don't be in a hurry. Pace it up. It will really come out well. To summarize, a well-structured speech, great body language, definitely better work on the recommendations. You've reached this far, definitely you will go to greater heights. You have got great potential. Just identify it. Seek it, nurture it, strike back again. Congratulations on completing your project. All the best for your future speech. Thank you for
Thank you, Nazmi, for that comprehensive evaluation. Saurabh, I really liked your topic. Great topic selection. Let's hear it for both the speaker and the evaluator. Moving on, second speaker for the day was Abhinandan, and he was evaluated by Rajdeep, Dr. Rajdeep.
Fellow Toastmasters, General Evaluator and Abhinandan in particular, today you took us through a wonderful ride of what is the present generation doing and what the older generation did in your brilliant speech. What you did exactly and beautifully well, Abhinandan, was your very, very conversational and casual style. It looked like as if you were talking across a table, you talked about several examples. And the second thing which you did were the insights which you gave. Brilliant insights, right from how we are using a GPS system and we used to lose our way, and e-payment and all the mobile apps which we are using to order fresh fruit, and everything was brilliantly insightful and combined with a little humor. The way in which you said that, when I asked for a 500 rupee change, it looked as though I was asking for his daughter in marriage. I hope you got married to the right person. Not a Providence Store's daughter. Correct? But it was very, very insightful. And at the end, you combined it with a message. So the third thing which you did well was the message. You told that we are breaking away from our old traditions of seeing fruits and finding out what is fresh. And also you said that what do we do with that time which we are saving? Are we spending it in the right way rather than scrolling down the screen? So these three things were brilliant, right? Your insight, your message, as well as your conversational style. Now what could you do better? One, I thought that your speech was not structured at all. It seemed just a very casual, unstructured speech. And might be you could have said, let me give you 4 examples. GEMS, G-E-M-S, G for GPS, E for e-payment, M for mobile apps to order groceries, S for studying online. That would have given a more impetus to what you actually said. And it also helps you to remember the speech better, because you were referring notes what somebody was there next to me. So if you give a structure, it helps you in 2 ways. It helps the audience to remember, it helps you to remember. The second thing which I think was, there was a little bit of a disconnect. What was the disconnect was that when you spoke about how modern apps have helped you. How you can study online, how you can make e-payments, and it's been convenient. But your message was completely against the modern apps. Your message said, oh, we are wasting time, we should have something better, we should actually go back to the old ways, write our letters, etc. So that disconnect it would have been resolved, so I thought that would have been better. But otherwise, for a very insightful, conversational, and a very nice speech, you deserve all the applause. So please give Abhinandan a great applause.
And Dr. Rajdeep, you deserve another round of applause for it. Abhinandan, really like the fact that you ended on such a powerful question. What should we do with the time we save from this? Okay, moving on. Third speaker of the day was Ajit, and to his evaluator was Toastmaster Ratan.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Today our speaker spoke on leadership styles. I'd like to divide my evaluation in terms of the content and delivery. And while speaking on the content, what I liked about your speech, Toastmaster Vijay, is the first thing is that it was a very well-researched speech in the sense that there was a lot of information which was embellished into your speech. That was number one. The second thing was that there was a message which you had at the end. So in terms of structure, what I felt was, yes, there was a clear opening, a clear body, and a clear conclusion to your speech. So that was another thing that I liked about your speech. The third aspect in terms of the content was the fact that you had your own story. And you had it towards the end, and that is where we really got the connect, with your speech per se. On the delivery aspect, when you stood here and you spoke, it was like we were listening to a story, and you had that smile throughout the speech. You were actually conversing with us, and that's what really appealed to me. The clear voice. Your clear voice is an added advantage for you. You also look very comfortable when you are presenting your speech. So all these aspects really made it very, very pleasant to listen to your speech. If I were to give you a couple of suggestions, the most important thing that I want to convey to you is that the speech has a general purpose and a specific purpose. Now, as I understood, the speech was one where you wanted to inspire the audience. How you could do it better is what we also talk about. But the specific purpose is to talk about leadership styles. So, there is an assessment that you would have completed in order to know your own leadership style. So, we would have loved to know what your leadership style is. Because this is your opportunity to identify it and own it. Having said that, when you spoke of 4 different leaders, we would have loved to also understand what their leadership style is, or what maybe not exactly going like in a textbook fashion, but we would have liked to know who's the authoritarian and who's the more of a coaching kind of leader. Second aspect, in terms of the delivery, I would have loved some better transitions, because I never knew when you were speaking about Mr. Jobs and then you spoke about Mr. Grover. So, in terms of your speech, I loved it because it had a clear message which you reiterated, and it had a clear structure. What would have taken it to the next level is a clear emphasis on the objective, and your delivery style, which would also the transitions, that would have really appealed to us. And we look forward to listening to your other speeches going forward.
Thank you, Ratan. Very comprehensive evaluation. Just maybe a point, maybe you can make the same points in a more crisper fashion, so it hits the speaker much more. And Ajit, great speech. Thirdly enjoyed that. Okay, let's come to the end. Children, do I have time? 9 minutes of time. Then I will go on to the tag team. For timer, we had Chiran. Chiran, do you want to come up to the stage?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So, for the formal speech, we had
Toastmaster Saurav took 6 minutes 5 seconds, Toastmaster Abhinandan took 6 minutes 55 seconds, and Toastmaster Ajit took 6 minutes 10 seconds. When it comes to evaluators, so first evaluator Razni took 3 minutes 17 seconds, and DTM Rajdeep took 2 minutes 39 seconds, and Ratan exhausted his time limit by 7 seconds, so that is like 3 minutes 37 seconds. So when it comes to the table topic sessions, all were within the limit. So the given limit is 1 to 2 minutes, except like Sagar, who took 38 seconds. Over to you, General.
And for the speed breaker of the day, or half counter, we have completed.
If you have to drive to Electronic City, can you avoid the speed breaker?
Take the flyover.
Yeah?
Take the flyover.
Yeah. So one option is that you have to drive through the nice road. Then it is possible that you can avoid a speed breaker. And today I am happy to announce that there are many smart drivers of today's evening. They have not used the clutch board and the vocal pauses. And they are Toastmaster Ajit, Selma, Vivek, Rachi, Sagar, and DTM Vijayan. So let them give them a round of applause. However, other speaker, they have to be a smart driver, and I think we have a long way to go in this journey of speaking. Thank you, nobody.
Thank you, Kamlesh, very crisp, and next we go on to Alok for the remaining report.
There were some noteworthy usages of the language this evening. Some of them are links to conformity and complacency, looked at with incredulously, is everything hunky-dory, realization dawns, leadership is a ubiquitous word, rising from the ashes, seething hatred, and debonair table topics master. So these are some of the noteworthy usages. The not so good ones, two person could be two persons, more better, more crisper, you could remove the move there, more there and just make it better and crisper. Need to go could be made me go. Parallelly preparing could be preparing in parallel. There was an attempt to make use of the word of the day, speech makes it redundant at Loyola Hall, but I felt that was inappropriate. So that's my report for the evening. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Alok. For the members, the voting link for the chat team is out. Please use the passphrase and use for that. So, as a sign off, I thoroughly enjoyed this meeting, which was redolent with humor. Hopefully that's correct. And would really like to thank the committee as well for giving me this opportunity. Back to you.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, for the clinical evaluation. I wonder how much, what amount or what level of observational skills one needs to be such a great evaluator. Thank you so much. Can we give a big round of applause for the with that, my time on stage also comes to an end. So every goodbye is not a goodbye. In fact, we are so fortunate that a goodbye in one meeting is not a goodbye. We meet here again and again every Friday. But until we meet again, thank you so much for being a lovely audience. Thank you, the committee. Thanks to the committee for giving me such a wonderful opportunity. That's been my time. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ankit. May I request all of you to kindly give him a big round of applause. A couple of announcements. As Toastmaster Ayyappa had put on sent us an email, the nominations are still open. It's open until the 10th of December. So please, members, request you all to, if you're ready for the role, please nominate yourself. Yes, and the second announcement is there is amongst us a visitor, a Toastmaster from Coodie's Club, Toastmaster Abhijit. The Toastmaster, the Hoodies Club is inviting our club to participate in a tall tale, love tale contest, which is happening on the 17th of December from 10:30. So if any of our members are interested, so you can contact our Vice President Education to give in your names. They would love to have the Bangalore Toastmasters Club join them. It's an in-person meeting and they are wanting to promote in-person meetings. So if any of us are interested, please do give in your name.
And President, is it a tall tale or a tall love tale?
Tall love tale.
No, it's just a love story.
Oh, it's a okay. Yeah, and now we go over to the awards. The Best Table Topic Speaker award goes to DTM Vijayanand. The Best Auxiliary Role Taker award goes to Toastmaster Kamlesh Kumar. The Best Role Taker award goes to Toastmaster Ankit Kumar. The Best Evaluator award goes to DTM Dr. Rajdeep Bharmani. And the Best Speaker award for this evening goes to Toastmaster Ajit Chandrasekhar. Thank you all for your time and I hope it was well spent, the evening. We look forward to having you next week. Next week is a special meeting. It is a Linkers meeting with Daffodils Toastmasters Club. So look forward to seeing you all once again. And don't forget the snacks which we can network and have a good bite as well. And I see in this drawer chocolates from Ankit, which is left behind. So do you want to pass them around?
It's for you.